Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Just a quick end of the day update, a little earlier today, but overall Bitcoin has moved down today in line with overall expectations. The bears seem to be driving this at the moment. Bitcoin seems very weak, very little volume. I've got two bearish wave counts. Resistance remains at 27,620 US dollars. We might get a hint that we're actually moving up in orange wave 4 if we break above this descending trend line. Until we break above this descending trend line, I think the yellow wave count is definitely in control here. So I'm primarily following the yellow count, which should eventually send us down to around about 22.5K. Roughly, okay, I just say broadly the area between 22 and 24K, but sort of 22.5, we measured that in the previous video. If you're interested in how we did that, check out the previous video. But that's sort of the area where it should land, and broadly in the range between 22 and 24K ideally. So there's quite a bit of work to do. Still, the only thing that I'm thinking, which doesn't quite add up, is, Ethereum is coming down rapidly, more or less rapidly. A lot of the altcoins are really, wow, they're looking really bad. But okay, this is a Bitcoin video. We're not too concerned about the altcoins, but more, generally there are a few issues here that I don't like about the microstructures. The orange wave count looks better in terms of microstructures. It's very hard to count a good micro count here. The orange wave count is a diagonal, and if we get a break above the trend line, then I might argue that we are probably here in the C wave of wave 4. So that's sort of how I see this as a potential ABC structure in wave 4. That's possible. Or in the yellow wave count, it's going to break down more directly. So a direct break below 26,530 should give us an extension down, probably here in the third of a third wave, to first of all 26K. But the thing is, if we're really in the third of a third wave, we should see a more rapid breakdown. Okay, that should happen quite quickly. That's really normally when the fun really starts, in a third of a third wave. It just doesn't really look like a third of a third wave yet, okay? We don't get many retracements to the upside. There isn't much of a relief rally, which is why I prefer the yellow count. But yeah, overall, there isn't much going on. The bulls are very weak at the moment, but also it's coming down only in slow motion. It's only coming down in slow motion. So, I mean, the resistance level is clear, 27,620. Okay, above that level, we might look at some more bullish options, which I have taken off the chart because until the market shows me something, I've got nothing that I could do here from, for the bulls. Really difficult to come up with a really good account for the bulls from here. Really difficult. I mean, the only bullish scenario that I could be tracking here, the only bullish one, and I'm only going to show it to you because we have already talked about everything we can talk about in the yellow and orange wave counts. The only bullish one would be to assume that the overall wave 2 correction actually finished here. Okay. That was on the 11th of September. So assume that the overall correction is in, then we would probably looking at, but that's, yeah, it's a very forced wave count. Then this would be a wave 1. We would come down in 2, 3, 4, 5. And this would be all within the scope of a diagonal structure. So A, B, C to the upside in a wave 1. We're now coming down in wave 2, and if this is wave 2, and it would not, you cannot recognize it really as a wave 2 easily because it would be part of a larger diagonal. This is basically an ABC structure, and then the third wave needs to be an ABC as well. So it's an absolute messy structure. In terms of wave 2 support, then we would be in the support range now that goes all the way down to 25,695. Yeah, possible. Okay, possible. Keep it in mind, please. I mean, some of you might want to trade this, but it's not a count that is probably recommended to trade until we see the first wave 1 to the upside in wave 3. Okay, so it would obviously be an ABC structure. So ideally, you wait for the AB of wave 3 to trade the C wave of wave 3. So to show you, Yeah, it's a messy count. ABC. That would be best practice to wait for the AB setup to trade the C wave. The problem with these is it's not clear, and I always encourage people to trade what's clear. I mean, don't just trade something because you want to trade. If the setup isn't there, then you don't trade it. So I'm just following a strategy of just accumulation at the moment, gradual accumulation, I call it, and then when we see the first 5-wave move to the upside and the first 3-wave pullback, which is reliable, then it's worth taking a decent long trade. Okay, until then, this is rather unclear or more bearish. Okay, so yeah, and also don't forget about this head and shoulders pattern here that we've got: left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Yeah, and don't forget that another scenario is that this B wave could simply still extend. Yeah, but that wouldn't be bullish because we wouldn't have clear 5 waves. I mean, but it would be a very complex correction if that still extends. It's of course possible, but then to bring that onto the chart, I need I need a break above resistance. I need some kind of a clear setup that I could go with. At the moment, there is nothing. So yeah, this is still focusing on the downside. Resistance, I think, is clear. A break above this trend line will make me focus on the orange wave count. Until then, the yellow one. It's been following through nicely in the last few days, but it's more like slow motion, and 26K will be next major support. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. If you're interested in daily S&P 500 updates, I find very important in this kind of market generally, then yeah, check out our stocks and share service. It includes daily S&P 500 video updates, plus selected stocks are updated throughout the day. And yeah, thank you very much. Have a great day or evening wherever you are. Bye bye.